Alright, hello. Welcome to my prediction and preview for UFC Noche this Saturday. This card's amazing. I took my time with this card because I'm not really on a good run the past 2 weeks. So I want to get that in order. I've looked at countless hours of tape, I've looked at the footage, and I've come to a conclusion. And that conclusion, you'll find out soon. But one thing I want to say before we get into the prediction and preview is it's a UFC Noche card celebrating Mexican culture. The two main events is two Brazilians. You got love it. Viva la Brazil! Oh, I'm just kidding. But yeah, two Brazilians in a Mexican card. That's fucking amazing. I know Lopez lives in Mexico, but he's originally from Brazil, and he, like, on the fucking UFC website, he says he's Brazilian, so great, good job. Hopefully Mexico does claim Lopez at some point. I think they do claim already, but I'm not sure how that is with Yar and all that. But getting straight into the card. That is taking a while to go down. That took a while. Like, usually the UFC website is dog shit. It's never that slow. So this is already sketchy. But we're going to get straight into it, guys. We're sorry to interrupt this video, but this message is brought to you by an ungodly amount of money. Have you ever had a dream? Have you ever believed you could be great? Have you ever believed that you could be a champion one day? And have you ever dreamed that these ads would end? This Saturday, two titans clash. The biggest fight in history, followed by the biggest paychecks. Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, Dana White. This happens live on Netflix this Saturday at a time inconvenient for European fans. What are you waiting for? Buy now. This is the Ultimate Fighter season finale, one of the weight divisions, welterweight. I looked at both these guys. I looked at their previous fights. I obviously didn't buy the Ultimate Fighter. I just looked up like someone recording their telly on YouTube. I'm not gonna watch the Ultimate Fighter entirely, but I really wanted to say Rodrigo, but the more I look at the footage, I have to go to Neil. I'm sorry, but in one of Rodrigo's fights in the Ultimate Fighter, I didn't think he won. He's a decision merchant in the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't think he won many of those fights. Daniil looked really good. Now, bear in mind, I did pick, I can't remember your man's name, but he was like a Kazakhstani in the Ultimate Fighter finale, and I thought it was like going to be a dominant win, and he got his ass whooped, you know. So, who knows with this, but from what I've seen and how the fighting styles, I have to go with Daniil Donchenko KO rounds 2 or 3. Rodrigo does a lot of openings that his opponents in the Ultimate Fighter didn't take. I feel like Daniil will find a chin at some point. I just hope Daniil doesn't go for it in the first round and gas himself out, because that is a thing that worries me. That is a very definite thing that does worry me. Him gassing himself out in the first round. But moving on. Daniil by KO rounds 2 or 3. Now, this is an interesting one. Elise Pereira. She is kind of a sensation right now because she's a ghost, apparently. I don't know why she's invisible. But, yeah. She's just a knockout artist from Brazil. No relation to Alex Pereira. I think people are getting confused and that's why she's getting popular. But no relation to Alex Pereira. But she does fight. She has the knockout power, so who knows. Her opponent, Montserrat Rendon, I think that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. She's good. She's coming off a loss, I believe. I don't know if she got a bounce back win, but I think she's coming off a loss. I'm going to have to go Alice Pereira. I think she's the more impressive one. I only think... Let me just check something real quick, make sure I'm not getting mixed up. Yeah, I don't really see this going the distance. I'm going to go Alice Pereira KO rounds 2 or 3. I'm not confident in Montserrat lasting the 3 rounds with Pereira. But moving on. Alessandro Costa versus Alden Coria. Now, when I looked at the odds for this fight, and I don't support gambling, by the way, before YouTube has a hissy fit, I really wanted to pick Alden. just because the odds were like, it was juicy, you know. That kind of sounded bad, pause. But they were great odds, like 5-1. Or 4-1. I almost picked it. I don't support gambling. Again, the UFC website finding a way to ruin my day. Alessandro Costa, I think he's just gonna marauder Max. I think he's just gonna take Alden down and just ground and pound. I don't know if he'll get the finish, but I can definitely see this like being like a doctor stoppage, a bad cut, that sort of thing. Like just elbows until like Alden's face is just mush. So I'm gonna go TKO stoppage around 2 or 3. Also, short notice, Alden's probably not going to have the gas tank, so I think a bit of wrestling will gas him out. But moving on. Now, we come to the criminal bit of the card. Zachary Reese versus Cedric Dumas. If you remember who Cedric Dumas is, he complained on his Twitter, or X, if you want to call it that. He complained that he's broke. And he's trying to play the sympathy card, but the thing about Cedric is he's not broke because the UFC isn't paying him. He's broke because he's just a fucking dumbass. Like, straight up, unofficial, like, just official dumbass. He has 14. He's been arrested 14 times. 14 times. And he's complaining like, this is the price of being an adult. This is the price of being a fucking scumbag. Fuck's sake, man. I'm going to go Zachary Reese, KO or submission rounds 1 or 2. Either that would be a very boring decision. I'm going to trust Zachary Reese to get it done. So yeah, KO or submission rounds 1 or 2. Fuck Cedric Dumas. But moving on. Jesus Aguilar versus Luis Gurule. I don't know how you pronounce that. I got a bit confused when I saw that Jesus Aguilar was the underdog. I actually like Jesus Aguilar. I think he's very good. Now, bear in mind, he's got the ground game. The striking is a bit, yeah. But Gurule isn't that good of a striker either. He's okay. He's not great. He has a decent knockout punch. But I think against higher level competition, I don't think he's gonna flatline KO Jesus. I think Jesus is gonna get this one due to his grappling. I'm gonna go Jesus Aguilar submission rounds 2 or 3. Either a ground pound TKO, but I'm gonna go submission because I feel it's more safe. So yeah, I'm going to go Jesus Aguilar, submission rounds 2 or 3. Moving on. Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. This is going to be one of those cases. I know Tatiana is like a big favourite, but this is going to be one of those cases of people forget, man. Before the Wei Li Zhang or Zhang Wei Li, I don't know. Everyone says it back, like, which way around. I don't know which way it goes. But Tatiana Suarez, people forget, man. She's a Brock Lesnar of this division. I'm just going to say, like, she's the Kayla Harrison of this division. She's going to just maul Amanda Lemos. I don't see her struggling whatsoever. And also, I feel like she's very tall. Like, she says the height looks close, but trust me, it's not. She's very tall for this division. And I'd be very shocked that the weigh-ins, they're, like, equal in height. Suarez is huge for this division. But, yeah, moving on. I'm going to go Tatiana Suarez, KO or submission rounds 2 or 3. I don't see her getting a finish in the first, but I see her just mauling. And, like, if she doesn't get a finish, I see, like, a 30-26 card. But moving on. Claudio Puelles versus Joaquim Silva. I don't know who I'm going to go here. This is one of those fights I haven't really made up my mind. This is an evens odds, so I don't know. I don't really know. I think Claudio's the slight favourite. I think I'm tempted to go with Claudio. I think I'm going to go Claudio Puelles decision. Either that or rounds 2 or 3 submission. I don't really see Joaquin Silva chinning Claudio. I think Claudio's going to hit and run, and then if it gets sticky, just try grapple his way out of it. So I can see that happening. I'm going to go Claudio Puelles, probably rounds 3 stoppage or most likely decision. But moving on. The myth, the legend, Jose Daniel Medina versus Tusko Todorovic. Both of these guys are specimens. Both of these guys deserve to be cut from the UFC, in my opinion. I have no idea why they're still here. Jose Medina's gonna lose. Shock. Dusko actually has a ground game, and the reason in his last fight, Reese, like, he looked mid because he's not a striker. He's a semi-striker, but his main strength is the ground game. I'm gonna go Dusko Todorovic, ground and pound TKO or submission. I think most likely submission. I don't think Jose Medina will probably get chinned by someone lesser than Francis Ngannou Jr. But yeah, if you don't know who I'm talking about Tibet Gautier. I think Todorovic is just going to style him this fight. He's either going to get a 30-27 card or submission. The only way I can see Jose Medina really winning this fight is like fluky knockout, but I don't think Todorovic is going to have like a glass jaw. I think he's going to be able to take some punches from Medina. So I'm going to go Todorovic rounds 2 or 3 submission. Or decision. Moving on. Alexander Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira. Yeah, good job, Hernandez. I didn't pick him in his last fight. I'm going to fix that mistake now. I'm not going to pick him again. I don't think he wins this fight. I honestly think, and this is me being honest as I can, the Chase performance wasn't that good. I think Chase Barnes had a bad performance. That was just a bad performance. That wasn't a good performance from Hernandez. That was just a terrible performance from Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper just couldn't shoot a takedown for some reason. I think Diego Ferreira is going to stand with him, take some shots, and just flatline KO Hernandez. That's just what I think. I don't know if the age is going to catch up with Ferreira, but I'm going to go with it. Quick edit, I just fucking nearly died. My fucking roof just caved in. But we're going to just go on with the review. It didn't really just cave in, but fucking sounded like it was. It's raining heavy. I'm going Diego Ferreira. Probably rounds 2 or 3 KO. I can see a submission as well, but most likely a KO. I think Hernandez is a great like early fighter. Like in the round 1, he's very strong, and then when rounds 2 and 3 like pop off, he starts slowing down. So I think Diego Ferreira in rounds 2 or 3, like late round 2, late round 3, will most likely get the finish. So I'm gonna go Diego Ferreira, knockout rounds 2 or 3. Moving on. Santiago Luna versus Kwang Lee. This is a very interesting fight to me. Santiago Luna is a very, very good prospect, and I don't really know how to rate his wins in terms of UFC level. Is Kwang Lee UFC level? I think he is, and this is what worries me. I'm gonna go Santiago Luna though. I'm gonna go late stoppage, like late KO or submission. I think Kwang Lee is good. It'll definitely make this fight competitive, but I think they must have some faith in Santiago Luna to get this done if they're choosing Kwang Lee as an opponent. So I'm going to go Santiago Luna. Rounds 2 or 3 stoppage. Kelvin Gastelum versus Dustin Stoltzfus. What can I say? Yeah. Kelvin Gastelum, the absolute specimen of a man. 5'9" at middleweight. Numbers not seen since Torres Finney. Now bear in mind, in fairness to Kelvin Gastelum, he's putting on a bit of muscle. So fair play to him. He's putting on a bit of muscle. He's trying to fill out that frame. It would have been just easier if he moved down to welterweight, but good job. I'm really shocked at the odds for this fight. Kelvin is a -250 favourite. I don't really see that. Look at the reach difference. Look at the height difference. I don't really see Kelvin grappling all that much in this fight. I'm going to go Dustin Stoltzfus, probably late stoppage or decision. And I'm just being honest, I think Dustin is going to get this one, to be honest. I'm going to go late stoppage for Dustin. Probably not, maybe not a KO, like out cold, but I can see some ground and pound or something like that. Or maybe a sub. I can see that happening. I just think, with the damage that Kelvin Gastelum took in his last fight against Joe Pyfer, that changes someone. That, like, at some point, that chin is going to crack. And, maybe Joe Pyfer already weakened it enough, and Dustin, all he has to do is tap it. I'm going to have to go Dustin. I can't trust the Kelvin's chin, I can't trust it. So I'm going to go Dustin late stoppage. Probably rounds 3 or maybe a decision. I can definitely see him knocking Kelvin down at some point. But moving on. Jared Gordon versus Rafa Garcia. Now, this is a very interesting fight. Rafa Garcia, we may be actually getting a little bit too much hype in this fight. There's a reason why Jared Gordon is a minus 250 favourite. Because Rafa Garcia in his last fight, I picked him to win it, but he looked terrible. It was a 40-year-old Finch Pichel on the verge of retirement. And he struggled. He struggled bad. I'm going to have to go Jared Gordon by rounds 2 or 3 knockout. I can even see him doing it in round 1. I'm just going to go Jared Gordon by knockout. Rafa Garcia just looked very, very slow in this fight against Vince Pichel. I think Jared Gordon's going to bring it to him, and he's not going to let him get away with so much. And Vince Pichel is not really that big of a power puncher. Jared Gordon is. I'm going to go Jared Gordon by knockout. Just knockout in general. I think that's the safest option. But yeah, Jared Gordon's on a run. I'm going to go Jared Gordon by knockout. No rounds, just knockout. Now, this fight confuses me, because I saw the odds and I'm confused. David Martinez is only a plus 110? I know he's young, I know he has like highlight reel knockouts, but it's Rob Font, you know, he doesn't really get flatline KO'd. And David Martinez in his last fight, he fought Simon Oliveira. I think that was just really like a cherry-picked opponent, if I'm being honest. Simon Oliveira just isn't that good, in my opinion. I'm going to go Rob Font late stoppage or decision. I think more likely a decision. I can see him just wearing Martinez out with the grappling. I think this is going to be just one of those like people forget man moments where the crafty unk just gets it done. I'm going to go Rob Font, decision. But moving on. John Silva versus Diego Lopez. I'm actually shocked at like the numbers I'm seeing here. I can't believe that John Silva is an underdog in this fight. I know Diego Lopez brought the fight to Volk, and he did very well in that fight. I can't see Lopez winning this one. I'm going to be honest. And this is coming from a big Lopez fan. I can't see him getting this one. I'm going to go John Silva. I don't think it's going to be a round 1 KO for John Silva. I'm going to go rounds 3 or 4 KO or submission for John Silva. Everyone is saying Diego's probably going to grapple him. I don't really see that. I don't know if... I've seen some people say that now. I haven't seen like the big players talk about it, but I've seen some people saying... People are just assuming now because Rufy got out-grappled that Silva's going to get out-grappled. I don't see that. I don't see that at all. I'm going to go Silva, KO or submission rounds 3 or 4. Could also go to decision. Diego has a really blocky head. He can take a lot of punishment. But I think at some point Silva is going to find that chin. And my official prediction, like my breakdown for this fight, I think early on Lopez is going to do well in the early stages. He's going to win rounds 1 and 2, and then rounds 3 onward, I think Silva's going to lock in and just find the chin. So, like, I can see live everyone just like your Kenny Okoye, your MMA Guru, your Lucas Tracy's, they're all like, we told you so, Lopez is winning, and then Silva just flatlines him. I'm sorry, that's just the way I see it. I think Lopez's chin is good, but like, I think Silva's going to find the mark, and I think he is going to crack the chin. As sad it is for me to say, like, I would actually pop if Lopez won this. But my official pick is going to be John Silva. I think he's a fucking marauder, dude. But yeah, that's been my picks. My official picks for the Canelo Crawford fight, by the way. If anyone's interested in them, I'm going to just do that right now. I'm going to go... I've seen no one say this in Canelo and Crawford. I think it's going to be a draw. I genuinely can see it being a draw. I can't see Canelo knocking him out. I can't see Crawford doing enough to clearly, convincingly win. Because the judges will be in the favour of Canelo. In my opinion. So I can see this being like a Tank Davis draw. You know what I mean? Because they're going to milk it for the rematch, you know? It's boxing 101. You can't trust a decision in boxing, especially with two big players. I'm going to go draw on that one, so if anyone disagrees with me, please let me know. But yeah, that's my predictions for both the Canelo Crawford card and Lopez versus Silva. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. See ya, I guess. People forget, man.